The entire set list for set 4 got revealed, and it shows us we got more support for Overlord, Eugene, Prison, Orphist, Bastion, Phantom Blaster Dragon, and Flagberg. Let's jump into it! Stand up! Vanguard! Hey Cardfighters, welcome back to another Cardfight update, and today we're going to wrap up the set 4 reveals as the last couple of cards for set 4 got revealed, and with it we got some surprising new little tech cards, and yes, you saw the title, yes, you saw the thumbnail, and yes, it's kind of clickbaity, but also not really because there's some truth to it, but you probably are not expecting what you were expecting if you did not already know the skill of the card. But without any further ado, let's jump straight into these cards because there are a couple of cards that I want to highlight, and a lot of these cards are also just generic shield value and blitz order type cards, which we always come to expect of the last couple of reveals of every single set. So, starting off, we're first going to look at the new world premiere card because yes, Japan also got its own world premiere as they got this heal trigger for Dragon Empire, Drag, Ritter, Selmer, and basically they're getting this card instead of the world premiere card that we are going to get, which we already knew at the beginning of set 4 reveals, which was of course the Stoicheia heal trigger, Soul, Repose, Pixie, Petronella. So we're gonna get this heal, and the Drag Ritter Dragon Empire heal is the one that Japan is going to get. We might get it in the future, but sadly not today. Then moving on to the extra reveals, we've got a new grade 1, which is a nice support card for Overlord as well as Eugene, as we've got Sharp Armor Dragon Gatesford, and Gatesford's effect is auto and back row rearguard circle. Once a turn, when your opponent's rearguard is retired during your turn, stand this unit and it gets power plus 2k until the end of turn. The reason why it's Overlord support and Eugene support, you probably already can guess it. In Overlord's case, it can be a Vanguard booster, and your Vanguard is going to hit into the rearguard, and then you can reset this unit and immediately he can boost again for the second Vanguard attack, which is a nice interaction. For Eugene's case, this can be another target for Eugene rest ability, which then immediately will restand because you're going to retire something after you already rested, which is a nice interaction. This could also work with Overdress with either Valiente or with the new Esperer Dea, because you can attack into a rearguard, you hit, then the unit gets retired, and then you can reset this unit so it can boost the second attack as well, but it's not an optimal play and I wouldn't recommend to do so. Now moving forward, we see the brand new grade 3 Lightning Howl Dragon. Yes, the Overlord lookalike card, and surprisingly enough, it is Overlord support, but it's bad Overlord support, because its effect is auto rearguard circle. When your Vanguard attack hits, you may return this unit to your hand. Basically, every single turn you can call it down, it bounces back because Overlord can hit into a rearguard, no problem. I don't know what the purpose of this card is in Overlord. Honestly, I don't know what the purpose is of this card in Dragon Empire in the first place. So, yeah, waste of a card art, because I'm gonna be honest, this thing looks dope as fuck. And that concludes the Dragon Empire support card, so we go into the Dark Stage one, and for Dark Stage we only have one new card left, which is this grade 2 Steam Performer Lugalza. And Lugalza has the effect, continues a Guardian Circle. If your soul has 2 or more grade 3 cards, this unit gets shield plus 5k. It's a 10k shield with a very specific condition, which is not ideal and probably will never see play, so we can move on. But if you want 10k shield, it is here. Then moving on, we've got some Brandt Gate cards. We've got a couple of Brandt Gate cards, and we start off with an interesting grade 1, which is Cardinal Prima Lactat. And Lactat has the effect auto and rearguard circle. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted a Shadow Army token. Call a Shadow Army token to the rearguard circle this unit is on as rest. So effectively, she turns into a Shadow Army token, but as soon as you call it rest, you cannot have some type of interesting multi-tech engine, but as soon as she's also in the back row, it doesn't even matter. But it's basically another way to get Shadow Army tokens into the field, and because it's free, it's actually not that bad as soon as you turn a random card in your hand into a Shadow Army token here. And it depends on the synergies, this could actually be very nice, because this allows you to get another Shadow Army token onto the board, which then can fuel your specific cards that need to sack Shadow Army tokens. So this could come up, and if we get more ways to get potentially a Shadow Army token on the field on turn 1, then this could be very impactful, because then you can start swarming the board with these Shadow Army tokens very early on, thus making your early game even more devastating. But right now, that's not really an option, but it could come up in the future. So I would suggest to keep this card in the back of your head for now. Then for another card for Brandt Gate, we've got this grade 3, which is a 15k base grade 3, which is called Electromagnetic Monster Elegicity, and Elegicity's ability is continuous on Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle. If your order zone has no cards, this unit cannot attack. So basically it's just a vanilla beat stick that doesn't really do as much. I mean, I don't really see any deck that can utilize this, because Prison already have 50k beaters that do more, and Orphis has a lot of 50k beaters that can do more, and even they have tokens which are 50k beaters or more. So yeah, it just exists in my opinion. So yeah, go ham with it. For the final card for Brandt Gate, we got a new grade 1 for the brand new Prison deck, because we got a support card for the grade 4 Seraph Pure Light, as we have Aurora Battle Princess, Riot Beebly, and Beebly has the effect continues on Guardian Circle. If your Vanguard is grade 4, this unit gets shield plus 15k. It's a 20k shield unit. I don't think it's gonna come up all too often, because it's very specific in usage, and we already got increased shield value in this nation to begin with, so I don't know if it's gonna see any use, but it's there if you need it. Then moving on to Keter Sanctuary, this is where we got quite a few cards, because we got a couple of Phantom Blaster Dragon support cards and a couple of Bastion support cards. And we start off with a grade 1 for Phantom Blaster Dragon, which is Knight of Lonely Shadow Vinola. And Vinola has the effect continues a Rearguard Circle. If there are no other units in the same column as this unit gets power plus 10k, including your opponent's rearguards. This is the reason why it can only work in Phantom Blaster Dragon, because that's the only deck that can clear the field in the first place. So that's the only reason that you can potentially get this skill off on a consistent basis. Is this good? I honestly don't know. Getting the 10k is nice, because it means you have an 18k beater without needing to dedicate multiple cards to the field, which can be nice. But is that actually good for Phantom Blaster Dragon? I am not sure, but it's a tool they have access to, and it allows you to at least hit for bigger numbers without needing to dedicate more cards to the field, which makes you more susceptible for specific control matchups. Then, if we move along, we have a new grade 3 for Bastion, which is Thundering Heavenly / Gatus, and Gatus has the effect Auto Rearguard Circle. When this unit is stand by your Vanguard's ability, choose one of your other rearguards, and that unit gets power plus 5k until the end of turn. It's basically extra 5k that you get once a turn, and it's not really anything amazing, but honestly also not that bad, because any extra power of Bastion can go a long way. Then another grade 3 for Bastion, and this is an interesting one, and I like this card actually a lot, is Heavenly Protection Dragon Embrace Dragon. Now first off, it's a 12k base, so it's not going to hit the same magic numbers as the 13k units. This won't matter during your normal grade 3 Bastion turns if you went second. If you went first, it will matter. But it also will matter during your Bastion Prime turns, as seen as then the 13k of the back row will matter to make magic numbers. But in hindsight, this won't matter all too much because of the skill of this card. Because the skill of this card is auto when the unit is put onto the Guardian Circle, so you're likely aren't going to call this to the Rearguard Circle in the first place. Choose one of your grade 2 or greater units being attacked, and it gets power plus 10k until the end of that battle. If you chose a grade 4, it gets power plus 20k instead of plus 10k. So this is basically a CocoBL replacement for the Bastion Prime deck. And in my opinion, this is way better than CocoBL. Yes, CocoBL has the potential to skill more than that. But from my playtesting and playing with CocoBL in my Bastion variants, I in most cases hardly get past 15k shield. And even if I do that, that's very rare, because the problem with CocoBL is that your units need to stay on the board, and if you're up against a control matchup, that won't happen. So then she basically becomes effectively useless, and in a lot of cases also will only be 5k shield. And the problem with CocoBL as well is that you need grade 3s. So in the early game, it doesn't really do anything, whereas this grade 3 actually is 10k shield even on turn 2. So that means if you clutter your hands with this card, you can still use it for shield value in the early game, which is huge for Bastion. And then during a Bastion Prime turn, it's 20k shield on one card, that's actually a lot. So I honestly like this card a lot. It doesn't take away from Bastion's playstyle, and in my opinion even puts more on it. And yeah, I can definitely see this card being played. Then another card that's Bastion support, but I don't think is going to be played by the sheer fact of its grade, is this grade 2 Knight of Heavily Management Contenio or Centenio, and its effect is auto. When the unit is put into the Guardian Circle, which means you can intercept with it. If you have a Vanguard with Bastion's card name, this unit gets shield plus 5k until the end of battle. So it's a 10k shield. Same as the grade 3 we just talked about in the early game, both are 10k. This you can call to the field in the early game, be a bit more aggressive, but it's a grade 2, which will mean it has negative synergy with your playstyle. So you need to have a darsh good reason to play this card. And I don't think just for 5k or in this case 10k shield is good enough a reason. So probably won't see play. Now another grade 2, which in this case is Phantom Blaster Dragon support, might see play, and I want to emphasize the might here, as we have Knight of Unnatural Death Delbeth, and Delbeth has the effect: continues a rearguard circle during your turn. If 2 or more rearguards were retired for the cost of your card with blasters in its card name, this unit gets power plus 10k. So basically it makes your Phantom Blaster Dragon skill even better because you get more power on the board, making this a 20k beater, thus generating better power columns in Phantom Blaster Dragon, which honestly does a lot good for the deck. I've seen it's a free attack deck, so you want to make those attacks matter, and this card allows you to at least get somewhere with those free attacks. I'm not saying it's gonna be a 4-off, but it can definitely see this card being attack option with the rest of your grade 2 lineup, so won't be surprised if this makes the cut if players are even playing Phantom Blaster Dragon moving onward from set 4. Then the following Keter Sanctuary support card, we've got a new grade 1 which might be used in Bastion but also might not, as we have Banner of Heavenly Salvation Celine, and Celine has the effect auto rearguard circle. When this unit is stand by your Vanguard's ability, aka only Bastion and Keter Sanctuary can do this, you may soul charge 1. This will only be useful if Dark Strain Dragon or any other soul blasting card is going to be very important and you need the extra soul. But I don't know if that's the case right now. If it is, we have the soul charge engine, but I don't know if you want to play this card. So it's going to be an iffy one because again, it's a grade 1, not a grade 3, which has a negative synergy with your playstyle. Then follow up, we've got another grade 1, but this card could potentially be used in Bastion, as we've got Knight of Heavenly Omen Grandiel, and Grandiel has the following effect, and keep in mind it's a 7k base. Continues on rearguard circle trigger zone. If your Vanguard is Apex Surpassing Sword Bastion Prime, the grade 4, this card gets grade plus 2 and power plus 5k active on your opponent's turn 2. So if you sit on the grade 4, this grade 1 becomes a grade 3, which then will have positive synergy with your playstyle. The only issue is that on your normal Bastion turn, it's still a grade 1, which can potentially mean it can screw up your potential restand. But with it only being active during potentially one turn for a game, you might opt to just play this card to at least give the deck more shield value as well as more early game potential. The problem is it's a 7k body, which means it's not optimal. It still needs another card, but it also means that if you hit a trigger of your fort, you can still hit with the trigger thanks to this grade 1, if you can just slap and make a column and you'd still be fine. And then this grade 1 can stay on the board for until you ride to grade 4 and it turns into a grade 3, and then you're basically set for the rest of the game. Sadly, it isn't 12k booster, so the same rules apply here that we talked about the new Guard grade 3, as it doesn't make great magic numbers during your Bastion Prime turn, as it's a 15k attack in the front row plus a 12k in the back row, which makes it 27k attack, which isn't a magic number against the 13k base units in Overdress. Then the final cards that we're going to talk about is a pair for Stoicheia, and both of them are defensive cards, as we first have this grade 3, which is Purity Maiden Belanka, and Belanka has the effect, continues on Guardian Circle. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets shield plus 10k. You basically are just going to play this card to have 10k shield. It's somewhat of the grade 1s of V series that you can run. If you need a shield, you can play it. Am I advising it? Not really, because just playing cards for shield value has never really been a success unless it's a lot of shield value, aka the blitz orders, as there's also a very important distinction between blitz orders and normal cards with shield value, and that's guard restriction. That's a huge factor in favor for the blitz orders. So this grade 3, yeah, ain't looking all that hot, even though the artwork is pretty nice. Then moving on, we've got the final card for set 4, which is a blitz order. As we got the final Super Saiyan unit, as we were missing a couple. I think we missed 2 units, but after this one we only missed 1 unit. As we have Advance of the Great Cause, which is Super Saiyan Flagberg. And its ability is choose a flagship dragon, Flagberg dragon on your Vanguard circle or rearguard circle, and it gets power plus 20k until the end of battle. Basically, just like all the other Super Saiyan cards, it's just a 20k blitz order for a specific unit. It's not bad, it's not amazing, it's just good. And this can definitely see play if we need the shield value and if there's pesky guard restriction moving on. I would honestly say I would keep this card in your collection, as it can definitely come up, as it's not that... Wait a minute. He has 2 horns? Ha! So, moving forward, we can no longer call him actually Derpy Maelstrom, because he ain't actually that derpy. It was just the angle of the card that made him look derpy, as he just has 2 horns. It's not a one weird horn in the middle of his head. So, yeah. That's honestly a surprise, but that's the thing now. Maelstrom, or should I say Flagberg, is a dual horn dragon. But with it said, that's all the new reveals that we got for set 4, and also of course the final reveals for set 4. Also, oh, I forget one thing, the DSR artworks were revealed, as we now know the 2 DSRs. They're both for Dragon Empire. It's the new Nirvana and the new Esper Dea. Yeah, both artworks look pretty dope. So Dragon Empire fans, or should I say Overdress players, Overdress fans, eat your heart out and prepare your wallets. This is gonna hurt. But that aside, this is all that we had for set 4. I want to know what you guys think of these last couple of reveals. And of course, what's your opinion about set 4 in general? Are you excited about these reveals? Are you excited about this set? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below, as we luckily don't have to wait all too long for this set, because this set will come to the English format in early February. So we only have to wait about 2 months, which isn't that bad. So yeah. Go team, I would say. But overall, I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters over patreon.com/VanguardInsider. You guys are amazing. If you do want to support the channel or everything that's happening on the channel, you can simply go to patreon.com/VanguardInsider and become a patron today. But with that said, I've been Mr. Time Leap, and I'll see you guys in the next one!